This headline is a great example of how having crappy politicians holds us back from where we need to be. Because Keir Starmer is saying he still remains committed to doing a trade deal with the blue team means we're now having a conversation about whether we should be doing more trade with a country that is actively committing atrocities, when the conversation we should be having is about how to implement trade sanctions against a country that is actively committing atrocities. Like, the conversation you would expect us to be having logically would be about whether the international community should be militarily opposing the blue team, and maybe even sending in forces to protect the watermelon people because they're facing an atrocity. We should be discussing how far is too far in terms of Western intervention when it comes to getting the leadership of the blue team, as well as the October 7th people, in front of the International Criminal Court so that they can stand trial for their war crimes. Instead, we're left discussing how many weapons is okay to send to a country that we know is using them to commit war crimes. You get what I'm saying? And the reason we have so many politicians behaving crappily is because they're not scared of us. They know the majority of the country supports completely ending the sale of weapons to that country, but they don't care because they're not scared of us. They know they can get a huge majority in Parliament even if they only get barely a third of the vote. So, and this is kind of in response to some of the comments on my previous video, do not let anybody tell you that there is a bigger priority than electoral reform, because it affects all policies. The majority of the country wants to tax the rich more. The majority of the country wants to reverse Brexit. The majority of the country wants us to stand up against the blue team, but until we have a voting system where all votes count equally, which may involve making it impossible for the government to govern until they give us one, then all those issues are not going to be a priority. Oh, and quick reminder, tomorrow is Saturday the 28th of September, so if you don't like Brexit, make sure you're at Park Lane at 12 p.m.